Okay. Broken portable transceivers still clinging to my sweaty skin. Palms burning with pain. Fingertip twitching. What's our big hero doing here? Shouldn't you be having fun at your victory party? Kiana. Himiko, I found Mei. She's in the lounge. You can come now. Makes me run boring errands for her. Use your transceiver later. Thank you, Kiana. For what? Protected the power transmission devices. Save it. It was you who... Said save it. You're the big hero here. Next to you, what I did was nothing. No, I'm not a hero. Bronya even got hurt. Did you say that after you drove Wotan and won the battle? I want to see you, Bronya. Oh. I like this so much. It's such a good tribute to Evangelion. You got Jade Sword instead of Spear, DJ. No! Your luck is backfiring. No, DJ. Not like this. I want to be the best pilot. She wants to become Asuka. No, we're not. Patch him through. Good job. Commandeered the positron cannon under development. Adapted a large number of interrupters and substation towers before the operation. Made some bold but wise decisions, Major Himiko. If I can't direct the next operation, I'll still leave you in charge. Annihilating enemies at any cost is the only measure of victory. Always keep this in mind. Keep in mind this combat principle of anti-entropy. Yes. I heard what happened, May. You did well. Great expectations of you. Not again. Suspension just ended. Don't get cocky. Oh, this happened in the anime too, because I was rewatching certain episodes recently.
Yes.
Terry, Welt, and Otto. Welt is, well, hang on, Reaper. You played the stories, right? You saw the cutscene with Einstein. Welt is still in the Sea of Quanta in this storytelling. This place is hardly a command post now. Completely gone. For more clues. Honkai piece over there. Let's check it out. All right. Full Dirac. Just my luck. Shouldn't be complaining. Stuff's been super lucky to survive such a massive explosion. Survived because of my genius brain, not my luck. You can check this first. I need a minute to get my breath back. The recording of the explosion. Blast was unexpected. I did my best. Playing the recording at 0.1x speed. I saw it here. Light distortion. Good thing it's the weekend, no one else was here. Third surveillance satellite has a visual on the target. Oh, I remember this. In the anime, this is the one where they threw the Spear of Longinus to kill it in space. Seems to have an AT field powerful enough to bend light. Bend light, huh? But it couldn't even penetrate its AT field, not to mention affecting its trajectory. So Star of Eden in this Honkai crossover is basically a stand-in for any type of like nuclear attack that they did in the anime. I What's the structure of its AT field? The target itself is acting as a bomb. Does that mean it's adjusting its aim by doing this? Won't allow that to happen. Oh, you're right, Mr. Near. It is that one. It was like all three of them. They had to use their own AT fields, and then like right at the last second, they shoved a prog knife up there. Catch it directly. Yeah, this is the one. You're right. Is this a bike mission? Is this a bike mission? Hold up, guys. Bike mission incoming. This is what I live for. Wait, where's my boost? Oh man, okay. Failed. But this is on purpose. Rewrite Wotan's core system for Kiana. Wrist cannon equipped. Auxiliary power, team 7. Connection to Wotan. Still be a power limit. It's also for the sake of your safety. Any questions? Got it. Am I doing this? I am doing this for my own account. I am doing this one for my own account. Third children failed to come back in time, so I made the second children pilot. That's fine, you can make your own decisions. Major Himiko. Yes, sir. Alright, here we go. How to cross text on Twitch? I don't know if you can. You might have to do like a strike through copy paste thing. Oh, so there were subtitles. Oh my god, is this gonna be the next challenge? Sprinting right after landing. Oh, I remember. Oh, what the? What the hell happened? Oh, it's smashing the wrong button. Hold the button. Okay. Wow, they had to adapt a lot into this. That was pretty dramatic. Ooh. All right, we gotta play this before we do the next story chapter. Kiana's Asuka, yes. Real degenerate hours, that is accurate. Wow, this is some real clunky controls here. Hold the button. All right, to ready. Okay, now everything makes sense. You had to hold and charge up in order to start sprinting for everything to line up, which makes more sense now. Ah! Ah! Seems like the longer you hold it, the farther you go. Oh, bummer. It's okay. Face your problems head on and not jump over them. I know, right? Yeah, I know. That's just how the Wotan handles. But you do have to hold the button in order to start sprinting. If you don't hold the button and don't charge to max, then there is no sprint. That wasn't so bad. Kept holding it after the charge, no. Once you started sprinting, you could let go. And then you only hold it for the long jumps. Until the rain stopped. Realized that it would not matter if I got caught in the rain. Yes, never. You caught that glimpse of the intro again, didn't you? Improving the environment is also part of the work. Special Disaster Control Agency. I wonder, Hikari, if they're trying to like really prep, because I know that they're trying to. They announced that new Teresa related like mini event with more free crystals. Maybe they're rushing things to try to cram more like filler events to have more free crystals leading into 4.6 to try to get people to stay around longer. Thank you, Himiko. Goodbye. Now, yeah, see, never. That's how they get you, right? You start playing Genshin, and then you start playing Honkai, and they're like, oh, there's some crossover stuff. It's that MiHoYo marketing, that double layer MiHoYo marketing at work. Don't flatter yourself. I'm not here for you. Finally regained my freedom after being ordered around by them for so long, so I'm gonna exploit it before they need me for something again. Recreational facilities in the anti-entropy base. Already tried them, and I visited Tesla's lab too. She's doing great repairing my battlesuit. Just some fashion adjustment left to do. I trust her taste. I'm familiar with this kind of base. It's like a mini-city where the boundaries between life and work are blurred. Not saying I don't like it. It's just that sometimes I feel anti-entropy is all Nagazora has. Don't you feel the same? Miss Himiko wouldn't like this comment, but she's actually the workaholic here. I'm going to the train station. Look, May, what is that? You look back. Thought this kind of childish trick wouldn't work on you. Oh, she's smiling. Used to be the Nagazora Wall. It was originally built to prevent the sudden rise of sea level caused by the second eruption. You're not in class, sis. But I kind of get it why the angels chose to come to this world. Honkai and the consequences it caused are similar to what was happening in my world. In this world, the angels can easily borrow its primal energy, the Honkai, to launch their attacks. But I guess I could give this world some credit for not rejecting foreign matter. I gotta thank this city for letting me meet you guys. Are there any shrines in the city? To express, it's long deserted. Same, guess I'll keep you company for now. Take that as a yes. That smile though. Ah! Can they do that? They're cheating with customers. Can't you just leave me alone? Right, why is that? Because I know you're an idiot and I came to make sure you didn't do anything stupid. This doesn't work on me. In the past, there was someone I used to call an idiot all the time. Hey, she's talking about Shinji-kun. $2K autos with talent level 1. That's pretty insane. I think mine is maybe level 3. I haven't even paid attention to the auto damage. Let's go, Asuko, to the shrine. Take me to the Nagazora wall first. Alright. Okay. AA auto attack. Auto attacks. Have to go here, right? Yeah, auto attacks. The normal attack sequence. 5 basic hits, the basic attacks. Damage was restored in the sea level drop, but the residents who have all moved underground never came back. It's obviously a good thing. Everything will grow out of their use eventually. Nothing stays relevant forever. It's the same for people. That cuts deep. nice AoE. Sounds interesting, right? I'm not as interested. Sorry, never. I'm just gonna be patient and wait. I'm not gonna dwell on speculating who the unknown god in Genshin could or couldn't be. I will just take my time and wait until we get there. Even the dwelling of a god cannot withstand the corrosion of rainwater. What does dwell mean? In terms of thinking, it means like just leaving your headspace there. But denotation of dwelling is like to live somewhere. Yeah, I don't know either, man. That's why I'm not too worried about it. May, you are a good kid. My life should I have a normal start and a normal end. No one was born a pilot. You're doing your job alright. Just with a bit of struggle. Remind me of someone I know. Approval some others push him forward and beyond his limits. Won't make your life easier if you care too much about what others say about you. Different judging criteria from different people will drive you insane. It's impossible to please everyone. Yep. It's impossible to please Reaper. Dwell? No. Dwell just means to, like, in terms of the figurative meaning, dwelling just means to leave your headspace in a certain place. The traditional definition, dwell means to live somewhere. Can't unsee it now. Just follow your heart, like what I always do. I wonder if they just missed something on the animating of this part. No, it sounds like bullshit. Oh, they actually said it, but it's easy. It's way easier said than done. You'll understand that eventually. Anyway, trying to act mature and mentor someone I barely know, that's not my style. Actually, I thought of someone I know too. Doesn't seem to care about what others say. She cherishes her friends but makes her own decisions. She's different from me. Friend of yours? I'm not sure that I can call her that. All these Honkai enemies just keep dashing backwards. I can never get a hit in. Look! That other one dashed back to try to get his charge attack off. Oh, that's so annoying. Saw someone on the bridge. Hey, it's Sora! Dwolin? Not quite. Time for the daily grind. Good luck, Never. Rat-tat-tat-tat-tat, Captain! Sora, go now! I'm too badly wounded to go with you. Oh, wow! They have Sora replicating the one classmate. You idiot, don't waste your time here. Monster's coming. Get in the Wotan. Captain, no. Ugh. Sora, pull yourself together. Huh? Who are you? That's pretty funny. That's so fun. It's awesome when you think about how they adapted this small part. Alright. I might need to go get water soon. I saw all of that. Bandage held by her thin arm. No, we didn't see anything. Saw it. You're hiding something in your hand. If she's clean and innocent, why does she have to hide anything? This is the quarantine zone. Shouldn't be anyone here. You're not bad people. We won't rob you. Is that French hydrangea? Used to be French hydrangea around my house when I was a little, but I can rarely see it now. Can you show me? By the way, my name's May and this is Asuka. Sora. I'm Sora. Sensei's favorite. Went to the underground shelter. I grew it with a cutting from Sensei's hydrangea. It's not growing very well. Came here to change its soil. I used to water our hydrangea back in the orphanage, so humidity should be fine. Book says the soil in the underground shelter lacks some microelements. That's why the flower is dying. You a Zoomer or a millennial? You're a Zoomer. I'm a millennial. You're a Zoomer. Have I done polls on the Shao banner? I did 110 poll. I did 110 poll and we got Diona, which is perfectly fine. I'm not interested in Shao at all. Actually, I think a lot of older millennials should understand Evangelion, because Evangelion is actually right around the target age of millennials. Like late Gen X, early millennials should be the right age for Evangelion. Millennials 1990 to 2005. It's like 1985 to 2005. And then before 85 would be Gen X. One X Gene, 1X Xiao, 5X. Wow, dude. Only 2 more. Gen Y is millennials, Mr. Near. Gen Y is millennials. Millennial is Gen Y. But it's also more of a mentality thing. Reaper is definitely a Zoomer by mentality. Like I'm 32 as of this month. And I'm pretty much an elder millennial. What does Zoomer even mean? What does Zoomer even mean? It means you're young. Zero Primos left? No! What a Zoomer question. Yeah. What a Zoomer question. Sounds so complicated. I got lost, I was scared. Sometimes do plays myself in the shelter. I just wanted to distract myself. We're not bullies. Just trying to figure out what happened. Do you look like a boomer? No. Clearly a Zoomer, Reaper. 34 in 2 months. Culture and crazy different from Friends from the 90s. It is so different, isn't it? And it's weird too, Mr. Near. When you think about it, in your memory, right? In your memory, doesn't the early 2000s still feel like late 90s to you? When you think about it, like at the turn of the millennium. Millennials. Yeah, Pachi. Wild Wild West. Millennium. Yeah, totally. Exactly, dude. Like, I remember, I think, by the time I was actually first time watching Evangelion, it was the early 2000s. Right? Like, it was middle school for me, but it was still, like, early 2000s. World was good until the internet took over. World was good until Facebook and social media, like, exploded. And I remember, too, like, early on in Facebook, it was like, oh, yeah, we can keep in touch with all our high school friends. And it's gonna be great, and we're gonna stay in contact forever. And then, you know, over time you realize people change. And I remember early on, like in the late 2000s, I had this sense like everybody I added as a friend on Facebook, I would just keep in contact with them forever and ever. And then just this morning too, you know, like right before I went to make breakfast, I was checking my old chat logs on Facebook Messenger, and there was like people that have deleted their Facebook, people I'm no longer friends with on Facebook anymore, and it's weird looking at that passage of time. Ten years later, what even are friends? Exactly that same feeling. And that's another, yo, Mr. Near, that's another consequence of getting older. Like, I've been noticing my typos. I remember, like, you know, right around late high school or early college, like, I used to pride myself on just being really good at typing and good at spelling and all this stuff. And then as I've gotten older, I've just been noticing more and more. I've been noticing, like, the typos and the spelling errors. Yeah, I was too young for super early Facebook. So like at the time, MySpace was more prevalent in my age bracket, and then I think it was like my senior year of high school was when they started introducing Facebook to high school students, which probably is a mistake now, right? They no longer list your high school as a Facebook option anymore. Yeah, right. I remember early on in MySpace, old Zanga. I mean, DeviantArt still exists. People are still using DeviantArt. Gmail was invite only. I remember that. But yeah, MySpace rebranded afterwards. After Tom sold it off, MySpace rebranded to be music only. God, just, like we're living time capsules right now. Takes me the whole fight just to get full Dirag buffs, and by the time I get full Dirag buffs, everything's already dead. Oh, but this music's really cool. Just LiveJournal, bro. I remember LiveJournal, but I don't remember being actually on LiveJournal. But I remember AOL Instant Messenger. AOL Instant Messenger, yeah, that was a thing. Did you remember to set your away status to something cool? You know, it's funny, because I actually remember during AOL Instant Messenger 6.0, they had like the internet radio function. I actually listened to that internet radio quite a lot for my heavy metal and stuff, power metal and stuff. It is. LimeWire, I remember LimeWire, because old Napster. Can't even imagine how many viruses we probably all got on our old computers from back then. Ayaka has a sword when she comes in. That's true, DJ. That's true. That jade sword. I wish the throw would refill her meter. I think that's one thing in her design that I wish it could have been better. Like a little bit more like VG, where the throw just refills the meter, and you can charge attack off of that. But that nuke right there, full charge extended, full charge. That's pretty sweet. D-Rack would be good on everyone. No, D-Rack would be better on burst characters. So Blade Strike, Augment, Night Squire, and Swallowtail Phantasm, which is actually, D-Rack is Swallowtail's signature set. Now, you can put D-Rack on non-burst physical characters too, but you lose damage when you ultimate if it's not a burst, because D-Rack M doubles the effect if it's a burst type character. Asuka's ult actually doesn't count as a burst. It's more like Darkbolt Jonin's ultimate, where there's like a phase 1, you get a buff, and then a phase 2 finisher. So Asuka, I mean, yeah, you get the full impair. You can get the impair from the 3-set bonus. You just won't get the full D-Rack M bonus. Cause she would get the bonuses from TB. It's just M, you won't get the proc. Like the full proc. Question about that, yes. This is not a grove, May. And green ones. Soil here must be perfect. French hydrangea are only green when they first bloom. That's fresh. VK's ult is considered both ult and burst mode, right? No. VK is a charge attack type character. Her ult is just a regular ultimate. It's just a one special move. Vermilion Knight is just one special move. But what it is that with Thales 2-piece, which is the older, her original gear is Thales 2-piece. Well, 3-set, but nobody uses 3-set anymore. It's always Thales TM with Fushi B if they don't have Lei Wen Hook. And if they do have Lei Wen Hook, they're using the Lei Wen Hook bonuses. But Thales 2-piece procs off of charge attacks for Blazer mode. And so the old way was you would activate Blazer mode before you do any big nukes, whether it's double ulting or using Utu. But Utu requires that you ult once before you smash, so... yeah. R3 Favonius Lance, that's pretty sick. Pretty sick. Yeah, that's true, Hikari. That's true. She can force ultimate evasion during burst mode to just proc it, whereas NS you actually have to fish for a dodge. Now that I think about it, I don't think there is a fire type DPS that actually has a chart like a burst mode, right? Because does DA's Astral Harness count as a burst? It doesn't, right? It's just like enhanced form because she spams regular ultimates as part of her attack pattern, so she's not a burst type character. She might be the first gear. You got her twice in Dorm. I think based on the CN gear schedule, Holy Flames is supposed to run this patch. But if you're saving for the spending event, I don't know if they'll run Holy Flames next patch. So unfortunately for me, I'm gonna have to pass up on Holy Flames. Holy Flames will be the banner that you're going to want to get for VK, the Mr. Near. Holy Flames is the Utu sword. Sometimes they'll have Surtur as an off rate, and it comes with Lewin Hook. You don't want to roll on the old banner, which is Surtur and Thales. Which they did run like 2 or 3 times in the last 2 months, which was very disappointing for me because it was like, well, that's the outdated stuff, and it's craftable now. You can craft Thales now, and you can look for Surtur in the exchange shop. What's the best use of Fallen Crystallum for this battle pass? It really depends on what your account is looking like, because depending on what your account needs, the answer might change. I think Dirac M is a really good pick. But again, Dirac was going to be craftable eventually, next patch. If you don't have one of the weapons for Fervent Tempo, then picking up Swan Lake or Sleeping Beauty, whichever one's still in the shop, so that you can craft Sleeper's Dream, that's also a good idea. If you've been playing for the last 4 patches together, including this current patch, and then so this current patch and the 3 patches before the current patch, and you have a overflow of Crystallums, then, you know, maybe considering Irene TB if you don't need Dirac. It all comes down to what your account needs to break through to the next level of, like, whatever it is that you need or you're lacking infrastructure on. Like, let's say in my case, I have a lot of elemental support gear. I have a lot of elemental damage and support gear, but I need to work on my physical gear. So I picked up Dirac M this time. Fushi B first, now going for Thales. That's fine. Perfectly fine. Isn't BR alt burst mode? It is, Terrence. Good call. So there is a burst type fire. I'm just an idiot. I've forgotten. How could I forget? She's the waifu. Shame on me. Rondo is too. Good point, Jaru. I've neglected Rondo so much. I think the last time I played Rondo was for her dorm trial. And I remember at the time the dorm trial was kind of hard because I didn't have gear for her and I didn't have dorm bonuses. But I know there were some Rondo strats for Rhymestar. I think it was Abyss Rhymestar used Rondo a little bit. Finish my play here. It's okay for you to watch. Get into Wotan. I'll cover for you. Captain, no. Wotan, activate. Captain, I won. Because it's too big and heavy, but it's still awesome. Do you like Wotan, Sora? Of course. Beating the horrible monsters must be hard, but I want to pilot Wotan, so even just for a minute. Top 35 Nirvana, but no retain. RIP. It's dangerous. Your sensei would be worried sick. Don't worry. Sensei is no longer with us. While Wotan was fighting the monster, Sensei tried to get everyone out of the orphanage, but the building suddenly fell. Oh no. That is so sad. Isn't that what happened to what's his name's sister and she's in the hospital in the main anime? Law, how's it going? We're playing through some slow-paced story so that Friday we can actually get the action. So that's where you got injured. What have I done? I was knocked over again and again. Shoulder felt punctured. Warning, another angel attack? Himiko, what's going on? Is it an angel? We're looking to it. Pattern analysis result wasn't blue. Not the first time. So what happened? A tiny problem, we'll fix it later. Is it monsters? It's the quarantine zone after all. Honkai beasts lurking around, we shouldn't stay for long. Don't worry, Sora, we're taking you back to the shelter. Okay. Frame skip. Frame stutter. FPS loss. I like her shoes though. Those sneakers look so cool. As soon as the enemies are... Oh, this assassination thing. Assassination minigame. Quick, 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 quick. Get it before it turns around. There's one more. What about you two? We'll get back as well after we sort out some tiny problem. Bad mouthing Wotan, you weren't there. Wotan damaged the orphanage and hurt you and your sensei. No. It's all the monster's fault, not Wotan. Wotan was brave, I didn't lie. Just when we got everyone out, Sensei and I were the last to leave, and then I saw a light. The building fell down. I heard Sensei calling my name, but my neck couldn't move and I couldn't see her. Told me to try to... Wotan got beaten down, stood up and got beaten down again. Tried very hard to punch the monster. I remember what Sensei said and I whispered to him to tell him not to sleep. After a while, I finally saw him, got up again. If Wotan didn't punch the monster and make it hit somewhere else, the orphanage would become a crater now. That's why you wouldn't let anyone say something bad. So you're just as brave as Wotan. Can Wotan smile? MellyCutie XD. Thanks for the follow. Is that so? I never noticed. You have a very keen observation, Sora. Sorry, Sora. I was wrong about Wotan. It's alright. Lost my temper and jumped on you just now. It's more than one color, actually. I know. It's light green when it first blooms and turns pink later. Yes. But that's the French hydrangea grown following your sensei's method. Try to mix some plant ash into the soil. It will make the flower turn blue. Blue? Really? Give it a try. Pick a color you like. I will. Thank you, man, Asuka. I'll miss you. Asuka, I've been thinking. You did protect something and someone, didn't you? What's going on? Another false alarm? Asuka, an angel has infiltrated the AEHQ. Ah, it's the hacking one! They've been hacked! Wotan is May's mom. Pog! I wonder when they're gonna drop that bit. Next invasion in 5 days.